The next thing up is going to be nautical quizzes. And if you were here yesterday, you probably learned some things, some really cool, interesting things like what does toe the line mean? Where did that come from? We're going to have more of those here just in a minute. Peter Benziger, one of our sales guys, he's an expert in nautical trivia, and he's got a bunch of questions for you, and he's going to be giving away prizes too. So here we go with Peter and his wife, Margie. Thanks, guys. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Atomic Tuna Nautical Trivia Quiz. I'm Peter Benziger. I'm a salesman with Atomic Tuna.
And I'm Margie Benziger. And I help Peter when he has clients that are looking for a cruising boat. I try to provide a woman's perspective.
Well, Wayne mentioned prizes, and it's a pretty good time to start, I think, because we have 2 bottles of wine. Wonderful wine from the Mount Beautiful Winery. So that's our first prize, and we'll have one later also. Thank you very much, Mount Beautiful Winery. And the winner is Don Mooney. So we will get
Don Mooney.
Okay, Don, you've got 2 wonderful bottles of wine, and we'll get a hold of you after the show and figure out how to get that wine to you. And if you can't come down and get it, we may drink it ourselves. So we'll see what happens here. I'm very interested in nautical trivia. I took a course in etymology in college, which is the history of the meaning and origin of words. And because I've been sailing my whole life, basically, I started realizing that a lot of the terms that I heard actually sounded a little nautical. So I started doing some research on them and became a big fan of nautical trivia. Most of the words we use come back from the old sailing days of the English sailing ships. Margie, we had a little quiz in the Pacific.
Peter and I did a circumnavigation, and when we were on the Pacific Ocean, we had a sailing cruiser's net every night at 6 o'clock. And on Thursdays, we had a trivia night. And sometimes we had sailors as close as 10 miles away. Sometimes they were 1,000 miles away. But we really enjoyed our Thursday night trivia.
So hopefully the polling function will work. And there'll be about 10 questions. Each of them will have 4 answers. A small warning is that 3 of the answers we totally made up. They're absolute fabrications. And your challenge is going to be to try to figure out which one is the real one. So let's see if we can start and get the polling function going. Hopefully it'll work. Here we are, and we're going to launch it now. Okay, let's see. Yep, here we are. Good. The first question is, and if you want to get a pencil and a paper, you can even keep track of how you're doing on this, but it's, where did the expression chew the fat come from? Marge?
Okay, so answer number 1. Sailors who gossip had no meat or truth in their stories. 2, eating salty cured pork gave sailors time to talk. Or is it 3, after killing a whale, eating the fat was a delicacy? Or is it 4, if a sailor was underweight, he was told to chew more fat? So we're going to give you about 10 seconds more. And what you want to do is mark your, register your vote, and then hit submit.
Okay, we can see the answers coming in. Okay,
coming in.
There's now
3 out of 4.
Votes on 3 out of 4, and pretty much everybody now has voted. So we'll go ahead and end the polling, and I'll share with you what everybody else said. And now you can see what everybody else said here. And the answer is number 2. And what happened was the seamen used to eat this salty cured pork. It was stored in barrels, and it was very tough. They actually had to wash it several times to get the salt off. But because it was very tough, they had to chew it for quite a long time. And while they were chewing it, it gave the sailors time to talk. So talking became known as chewing the fat. Okay, our next question will come up in just a sec here. So let's find out how to get that. and polling. Sorry, it's going to take me just a second to get back in the swing of things here. Okay, the next question should appear on your screen now, and it's, where does the expression "to be brought up short" come from?
Okay. Is it number one, if you were not raised all the way up the top of the mast in the bosun's chair, were you brought up short? Or number two, if you had poor nutrition as a child and you didn't grow tall? Maybe it's three, a sailor cheated you in a card game. Or four, an emergency stop in a sailing ship. So we'll give you a few more seconds to register your vote and then hit submit.
Okay, we have voting coming in on 2 answers. There may be more. Okay, let's see what, there's a couple votings coming in, but we're gonna move on here and we'll share the results with you. Well, it turns out that the correct answer is number 4, not the first one.
Aha.
Aha. A sailing ship underway could only be brought to an emergency standstill by dropping the anchor. It was not a pleasant experience. Used today, to be brought up short means a person who is brought to an unexpected standstill by a sudden change of fortune or circumstances.
So we fooled a lot of people.
So we fooled a lot of people there. Okay. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Let's see. Yep, well, we can do this one here. Jumped a little bit, but some information that is a derivation of the word port. There's actually several stories, but I'm going to give you the one I like, and your challenge will be to figure out which it is. So here we go. Okay, Margie.
Where does the sailing term port come from? Number one, sailors used to drink port liquor. Sounds good to me. Number two, port was another word for a gangplank. 3, Odysseus made reference to port when passing the islands of the Sirens. Or is it 4? The ship had to dock on the left side because there was a steering oar on the right side. Okay, so take a few more seconds, mark your ballot, mark your questionnaire, and submit.
Okay, here we go. The term originally used for the left side of a boat a long time ago was larboard. Given its similarity in sound to starboard, they needed another word, and the term port became preferable over time. Starboard actually comes from an Old English term because they used to steer a ship by having a board on the starboard side. So that was a starboard, steering board. Because the steering board was on the right side, they usually put the left side against the port quay where they could unload all their merchandise. So people started just calling the left side the port side. Okay, we'll go to our next question. This one, we missed this one. This is a good one. Okay, here we go. This has to do with coffee. And we've often heard coffee called a cup of joe. Why is coffee called a cup of joe?
Joe was the Jamaican name for a coffee bean. Cup of Joe, named after the Secretary of the Navy. People named Joe were often big and strong. Or was it 4? Joe Louis the fighter drank lots of coffee before a fight. Okay, you have a few more seconds. Register your vote and hit submit. Oh, there's a lot of changes going on here in the voting.
Oh, this is a close one. Okay, let's see what happens here. Here we go.
Every category here.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, I hope you can see that. I guess you can now. And the answer is number 2. And it goes back to 1862. And there was a man named Josephus Daniels, who was the Secretary of the Navy. And he abolished the serving of wine to officers and ruled that the strongest drink on Navy ships would be coffee, which therefore became known as a cup of joe.
Oh, you're doing narco trivia.
Very popular.
Not very popular. Okay, we can hear some other mics going, but here we go. Let's do this one. This is a fun one. We'll launch the polling now. And sorry, it takes a little bit of time. Okay. When someone does not follow instructions, it is said that they turned a blind eye to orders. Where does this come from?
All right, our 4 choices are: number 1, Admiral Nelson put the telescope to his blind eye. Number 2, written orders were often kept covered or blinded in rainy weather. Sailors with a patch over their eyes turned to view the captain with their good eye. And finally, number 4, in a storm, the crew often did not follow orders because they were blinded by the salt spray. So what does it mean to turn a blind eye to orders? We'll give you a few more seconds. Register your vote and hit submit. All right, we have 2 votes coming in here. Two
Pretty strong.
2 questions, 2 answers.
Okay, I think, well, we've got more than half the people and the rest are voting. So we'll show you the answers as they are now. And here they are. Okay, well, the actual answer is number 1. I guess we fooled you. We had a lot of fun making up these fake answers. So every once in a while we did fool you. In 1802, Admiral Nelson deliberately held his telescope to his blind eye, he had a patch over it, in order not to see the flag signal from his commander ordering him to cease fighting. And I remember this.
In Trafalgar, right?
He was at Trafalgar, and basically what he did, I remember this story.
Were you there?
I was almost there. He broke the French line, which means that he actually sailed right through 2 competitive warships, and that's called breaking the line, and it allowed the English to win the battle. He won the battle, but he was reprimanded by his Commodore, and likewise, I remember he was also deemed a hero in England, though. But when his commander said, "Why didn't you follow my orders?" he said, "Well, I never saw them." So that's turning a blind eye to orders. I hadn't shared those, I guess. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, there's the answers. Okay. This one you should be able to get. So, well, let's see. You never know here. When giving directions, we often say it's about 5 miles as the crow flies. Where did that expression come from?
And our 4 choices are: number 1, crows fly straighter than any other kind of bird. Or is it 2, ships release crows to indicate the direction of land? 3, crows are black, which makes them easy to spot. 4, crows drop feathers frequently, making it easy to see their trail. So, which is the right answer to "as the crow flies"? We'll give you another few seconds. Register your vote and hit submit.
Submit.
Okay, we got a 50-50 going here.
Here we go. It's a close one. Let's see how we did. Okay, well, the answer is number 2. And often in England and other areas, there's a lot of fog or rain, and this is way before GPS. And of course, you couldn't use your sextant if the sky was overcast. So ships would carry a crow, and the crow unerringly knew exactly what was the fastest way to and most direct route to land. And they would let the crow go, and they would follow it. So they would sail in the direction as the crow flies. We've also heard of the crow's nest. up at the top of the mast, which is a lookout. And who knows, maybe that's where they kept the crows. Okay, and let's see, our next one. This is a little tough one. I actually wasn't quite sure of this myself. So, where on a sailboat, actually, or a motorboat, might you find an angel? Marge?
All right. You have 4 choices. Where would you find an angel? At the top of the mast? Hanging from the anchor rod? At the navigator's chart table? Or where the cooks use to bake an angel cake? Take a few more seconds, register your vote, and hit submit.
Okay, we've got some differences of opinion here going on.
Nobody's falling for the angel cake.
Yeah, but the angel cake is not a winning fabrication. Well, an angel is another term for an anchor kellet or a sentinel. This is the weight that is suspended from the anchor rod some distance from the bow to lower the angle between the lower part of the rod and the sea bottom, thus increasing the holding power of the anchor. So this is something that I really didn't know, but now you know where to find an angel.
Is that the catenary?
Yes, it allows the catenary to develop a bigger angle, and that keeps the ship from jerking back and forth when it's at anchor. So let's see if I think I shared these results, but there they are. And now I think we're up to 15 minutes, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
So
alarm just went off.
We're back again. And we have another prize winner. And we're in Peregrina now, our Tiana 47 at Marina Village Yacht Harbor, which is a great, great marina. And we have 2 free nights at the marina at Marina Village Yacht Harbor. And that's, we thank Steve McFessel, owner-manager, and also the marina for that. And the winner for that today is James Landers. So congratulations, James. Get a hold of us or we'll get a hold of you. And as long as there's space available, call the marina office and go have a fun night up there.
Awesome.
Okay, we have another quiz coming up tomorrow. We also, Sunday at 12:30, Margie and I have a presentation on cast off the dock lines and cruise. And you won't see our faces that much because it's a compilation of slides from our trip around the world and actually
videos.
And videos.
Fun videos.
So it's a fun video. So it's a real life. We welcome you aboard Peregrina to go around the world with us. We also on Sunday night at 4:30, I have a brief presentation on my favorite tools. And I hope this doesn't sound too boring, but my guess is that you may not have even seen
Some of them.
3/4 of these tools. They're kind of strange tools, but I found them eminently valuable to me. So thank you for joining us on Nautical Trivia Quiz, and we will see you tomorrow for the next version of the quiz. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.